Alright everyone, welcome back. So today we're breaking down Manager Kim Manhwa. Whether you stick around and show this video some love will definitely let me know if you want me to continue with this series. So, let's just jump straight into the story. The chapter kicks off by immediately setting up the central conflict. We're introduced to our main character, Mr. Kim, in a pretty shocking situation. He's on his knees, bowing and apologizing to another set of parents in a school office. The reason? His teenage daughter, Minji, has gotten into another physical fight. From the get-go, we see Mr. Kim as incredibly docile and passive. He takes all the blame, telling the other parents, "I apologize. I am a single father raising my daughter alone. There are many things I haven't been able to teach her." Meanwhile, Minji is furious and humiliated, yelling, "Dad, why are you apologizing? He hit me first." The other girl's mother is vicious, demanding a formal committee and that Minji's actions be permanently recorded, sneering that kids like her shouldn't even be allowed in society. A school official, who doesn't seem very sympathetic, warns Mr. Kim that the other family is incredibly powerful and connected, hinting it's better for him to just drop it. This power imbalance is the core of Minji's frustration. Later, as they walk home, she unleashes her anger on her father. She screams that all the other kids at her fancy school have fathers who are politicians or powerful CEOs, while her dad is just a K-class manager. "Why was I born like this?" she cries. "Why don't I have anything like everyone else? Why did you even have me if your life was going to be like this?" Someone who can't even raise a child properly has no right to have one. Heartbroken, she storms off, telling him not to follow her. Now this is where the chapter takes a dark turn. Minji doesn't go to her friend's house. Instead, she encounters the same group of students, led by the girl she fought, Harry, and a brutish guy named Minho. What starts as a tense confrontation quickly escalates into a brutal assault. Minho and his friends begin to beat Minji, and the situation spirals completely out of control when Harry, in a fit of rage, hits a defenseless Minji in the head with a rock. Panic erupts. Seeing Minji lying unconscious and bleeding on the ground, Minho realizes he's in deep trouble. To cover it up, he calls in a favor from a local gang, boasting about his connections. Harry, scared but complicit, uses her father's name and influence to secure their help. The gangsters arrive, coldly discussing how they can use a compression machine to make a body completely disappear, and they load Minji's motionless form into the trunk of their car. Meanwhile, Mr. Kim is growing increasingly worried at home. Minji is hours past her curfew. His paternal instinct kicks in, and he goes out to look for her. Near where the fight happened, he finds bloodstains on the pavement, and crucially, Harry's distinctive hairband. He immediately calls Minji's friends and gets the confirmation he feared: no one has seen her. The calm, submissive mask of Mr. Kim begins to crack. We see a flash in his eyes, a glimpse of something far more dangerous lurking beneath the surface. He tracks down Minho and Harry on the street. When he approaches them, asking about Minji, Minho immediately gets aggressive, grabbing Mr. Kim's collar and threatening him. "We don't know any Minji," he snarls, preparing to throw a punch. It's at this moment that the chapter gives us our first real tease of who Mr. Kim truly is. The narrative flashes back to a military barrack where a younger, fiercer Sergeant Kim has a gun to his superior's head, demanding to be released. Other soldiers point their weapons at him, screaming that he's a legendary, uncontrollable operative, a man who conducted deadly infiltration missions and has bounties on his head from multiple countries. He is described as their most valuable and most dangerous asset. Back in the present, Minho, trying to intimidate Mr. Kim, rips his shirt open and freezes. Both he and Harry stare in utter terror. Mr. Kim's body is a roadmap of violence, covered in scars, bullet wounds, and the marks of a life spent in combat. Before Minho can even process what he's seeing, Mr. Kim moves with blinding speed. In an instant, he disables Minho with a series of devastating blows, ending with Minho's head inches from the pavement, stopped only by Mr. Kim's shoe. The meek manager is gone, replaced by a terrifying force of nature. Leaning over a terrified Minho, Mr. Kim asks a single ice-cold question. "Where is my daughter?" Mr. Kim have wires, and he's using it to strangle Minho, whose condition is rapidly deteriorating. Harry watches in absolute terror, begging, "Please, stop." Mr. Kim ignores her, his focus entirely on Minho. He demands to know where his daughter is. Gasping for air, Minho confesses that he doesn't know the exact location. "When we were going, they were just telling us to turn left or right. They were only giving us directions. I don't know where they took your daughter. Please, believe me." Mr. Kim coldly follows up. "And you don't even know how to contact them again, do you?" Minho, broken, explains they are a point organization. The gang contacts them. They can't initiate contact. The scene then shifts to a house where we see the true villainy of this gang. A man is on his knees, begging for mercy from the gang's local head, a ruthless man named Chol. This man had taken a loan and signed a contract. Chol grabs him by the hair and snarls, "You think the contract you signed was a joke? It stated that if you couldn't repay the loan on time, you would pay the price. And I told you, the price would be your daughter." The man's daughter is there, crying, "Dad, Dad, please do something." But her father is powerless. Chol brutally beats the man and says, "I don't care if she's a student. We will take her organs and sell them. Scumbag, if you think we're wronging her, we can sell your organs instead." He then orders his men to take the girl away, forcing her helpless father to watch. Just as the gang is about to take the girl, the doorbell rings. Suspecting a delivery boy, Chol tells a thug not to open the door. The thug realizes the back door is unlocked and rushes to secure it. But it's too late. He finds Mr. Kim already inside. "Hey, who are you? You can't just break in," he shouts. Before he can finish, the sound of a brutal beating echoes through the house. Hearing the commotion, another thug grabs a baseball bat and cautiously opens the door to the room, swinging wildly. But Mr. Kim, moving with bullet-like speed, uses the first thug as a human shield. The bat smashes into his own ally's face. Mr. Kim then dodges low, delivers a powerful uppercut to the bat wielder's chin, and in one fluid motion, pulls a rope from his coat pocket. He expertly loops it around the thug's leg and tosses the other end over a ceiling light fixture, hoisting the man upside down in a matter of seconds. The kidnapped girl, watching this, whispers, "Amazing." Mr. Kim gets in the hanging thug's face. "Where is Minji?" The thug pleads ignorance, so Mr. Kim tightens the rope, causing excruciating pain. Meanwhile, Chol sees his chance and escapes through a window. Mr. Kim gives chase. As Chol flees down the street, he trips over a wire, a trap Mr. Kim had set, and crashes to the ground, bloodying his nose. He looks up to see a web of wires. He could have been killed. Mr. Kim emerges from the shadows, and what follows is a one-sided beatdown. We only hear the sounds of impacts and Chol screams. Back in the house, a bloodied and broken Chol is tied up. Mr. Kim has figured out the gang uses a secret messaging service for their group chats, which are deleted after each use. Frustrated by Chol's continued defiance, Mr. Kim breaks his arm. Chol, despite his state, yells, "What you're doing is illegal. I'll file a case against you, and I'm a minor. The law can't touch me." This is the wrong thing to say. Mr. Kim kicks him in the face and then walks over to his suitcase. He empties it of fake papers to reveal the hidden components of a gun. He assembles it with chilling efficiency, attaches a silencer, and presses it against Mang Chol's groin. If someone loses their parents, we call them an orphan. If a woman loses her husband, she's a widow. But for parents who lose their child, there is no word. It's too painful. We have nothing left to lose. He then says, "You say you're a minor the law can't touch? Well, I am a middle-aged man who doesn't obey the law." And with that, he pulls the trigger. The shot hits Mang Chol in the thigh, not killing him, but proving Mr. Kim's deadly seriousness. As Mang Chol screams for an ambulance, Mr. Kim delivers his final warning. "I'm letting you live because I still believe Minji is alive. If she weren't, I would kill you, your family, and everyone around you. Remember, my fist is faster than your law." As Mr. Kim goes to take Mang Chol's phone, it lights up with a new message. He reads it, and his world shatters. The message reads, "Mang Chol, we are loading the girl who fought Chairman Ju's daughter onto the ship. I have confirmed it. The girl is dead." The chapter ends with Mr. Kim staring at the message, the devastating news that his daughter may be gone forever. And just like that, the unshakable manager Kim shatters. This alpha male, a man who could burn the world down for his daughter, is brought to his knees. We see tears, actual tears, streaming down his face. He drops his bag, removes his glasses, and tries to wipe his eyes, his entire body trembling with a grief so profound it's painful to watch. But even in this state, his training kicks in. He doesn't break down completely. He immediately calls the number that sent the message. Cut to the gangster's hideout. The phone rings, and the guy who sent the message starts to panic. His buddy asks, "Who is it? Who's calling?" The panicked gangster explains, "I told them we shipped the girl off, but he's calling me. He only ever texts." That's when their leader snaps into action. He barks, "Don't answer it. For all we know, it's the police. Delete the entire chat group right now. No calls, no messages to anyone. And if you can, throw that phone away." They immediately scrub their digital tracks, thinking they're being smart. But they have no idea who they're really dealing with. Back in the warehouse, Kim sees the chat group has been deleted. Through his tears, he demands Mang Chol reconnect him. Mang Chol, terrified, insists it's impossible. Frustration and grief boil over. Kim grabs Mang Chol by the throat, his patience gone. But then, we get a shocking betrayal. The other hostage, the man whose daughter is also kidnapped, sees his chance. To get his own debt wiped clean, he sneaks up behind the distracted manager Kim and stabs him in the back with a knife. Mang Chol is thrilled and tells him to stab Kim again to settle the debt. But as the traitor raises his knife for a second strike, Kim stands up, and he's completely unharmed. He caught the blade between his hands. The man is a former special agent, guys. You think a cheap shot like that would work? The look on Mang Chol's face is pure, unadulterated terror. He's begging for mercy now, but it's too late. Just as Kim is about to deliver his vengeance, the police swarm in. They arrest everyone and take them to the station. At the station, the two beaten gangsters are whining to the cops, calling Kim a psycho with a gun. Meanwhile, the police run Kim's fingerprints and get nothing. His profile is completely blacked out. No name, no age, no nationality. He's a ghost. The cops are baffled. This is when one of the gangsters, feeling brave now that Kim is in handcuffs, starts mocking him. "Your daughter's dead and you can't do anything about it." He even starts kicking Kim while he's down on the floor, taking out his frustration on a grieving father. The police try to hold him back, even calling in 2 officers who are champion judo athletes to control the situation. They warn the gangster that these guys will break his bones if he causes more trouble. And then, a phone rings. It's Kim's phone. The caller ID says Minji, his daughter. Hearing that name is like a switch being flipped. An officer helps Kim up, only to realize the handcuffs are already open. The officer turns around and finds everyone in the room, cops, gangsters, even the 2 judo champions, lying unconscious on the floor. In a matter of seconds, Kim had taken down the entire room without making a sound. The last cop standing is in utter shock, muttering, What happened?" He doesn't even notice Kim standing right behind him. Kim slams him into a locker, takes his phone, and answers the call. He answers, "Hello, Minji?" But there's no response, just silence. He looks at his phone, only to see the call has been disconnected. Panic and frustration set in. He desperately tries to call back, but all he gets is an automated message. The person you are trying to reach is unavailable. This is the final straw. The calm, calculated manager Kim vanishes, replaced by a storm of paternal rage. He leaves the devastated police station behind, a man now completely unhinged and on a mission. Now cut to the police station after Kim's exit. Superintendent General Chol Jun arrives, and he is furious. He's berating his humiliated squad, yelling, "Are you telling me one man did this? One man walked in here and made fools of all of you?" While he's in the middle of his tirade, a new character makes a stylish entrance. A man in a flat cap is stopped at the door, but he simply flashes an ID card that immediately intimidates the officer. This is no ordinary cop. Chol Jun, thinking it's a reporter, barks, "What, are the press here already?" But this new guy oozing swagger walks right up to Chol Jun, rips the star right off his shoulder and slaps him across the face. He introduces himself as Guk Chel, codename Groundhog. He's from the National Special Operations Unit, and he's not here to play games. He tells the terrified superintendent that he should be prepared to hand in his resignation. The power dynamic has just been completely flipped. Groundhog and his high-tech team get to work. Using advanced tracking technology, they immediately locate Minji's last known location. One agent reports they are still searching for Code 66, Manager Kim's phone. Another agent assumes Kim isn't stupid enough to keep his phone on him. But to their surprise, the tracker pings. Kim's phone is active and moving. Its location? A Taekwondo dojo. The scene shifts to the Taekwondo gym, where children are practicing. The master, a man named Hansu Song, is instructing them. This is a massive reveal for lore fans. Hansu Song is a legendary Taekwondo athlete, a gold medalist, and his name has been whispered in the Lookism universe. There are very strong theories that he is the father of another incredibly powerful fighter, Johan Song. Manager Kim enters the dojo. Hansu dismisses the kids for a break, and the 2 old acquaintances have a tense reunion. Kim, his voice heavy with emotion, confesses, "My daughter is dead." He explains the missed call, clinging to the slim hope that it means she's still alive and in trouble, and that she might try to call again. He knows he's being tracked, but he can't bring himself to ditch the phone. He then says something powerful. "I'm sorry, but you were the only one I could think of in a time like this." Hansu is deeply moved. He recalls a debt he owes Kim, referencing a time Kim saved a boy named Tae-hun, another character linked to the Lookism world. Hansu agrees to help, stating, "I know what it's like to lose a child." But just as Hansu is about to send the children home safely, the special ops team, led by Groundhog, storms the dojo. What follows is an incredible display of skill. Groundhog tries to intimidate a child, but Hansu reacts with blinding speed. A kick is thrown, caught, and then countered with an even more impressive spinning kick that sends Groundhog flying. The scene is choreographed to show Hansu's unreal agility and power, even catching a child's falling rice cakes mid-air without spilling a single one. Manager Kim steps in to stop the fight, not wanting the children to get hurt, which is when Groundhog identifies him as Code 66. A brief but spectacular fight erupts. Hansu moves like a blur, taking out multiple highly trained operatives with ease, leaving them in shock, whispering, "Is that Hansu's song, the legend?" Seeing an opening, Hansu and Manager Kim make their escape. As they run, Hansu remarks that it feels like the old days. They jump into a highly modified high-tech vehicle that Hansu calls the bunker. Inside, the dynamic duo is back in action. While Hansu drives, Manager Kim works on a computer. Using old skills to track signals, they deduce they need to access a larger network, and Kim finds a specific signal leading them to a new location. They arrive, only to find themselves not in a hideout, but facing a large group of tough-looking teenagers. Hansu is confused, asking if Kim is sure about the location. As they walk through the gates, we see dozens of thugs standing around, smoking, laughing, and causing trouble. That's when one of the delinquents steps forward, spits on the ground, and mocks them. "Hey, old men, what are you doing here? Looking for your lost youth or something?" Hansu Sung stays calm, but replies, "Kim, are you sure the signal's from here?" Before Kim can answer, another thug walks up. He's huge, muscular, tattooed, and clearly the boss of the group outside. His name is Lee-jin Shim, vice head of the KD gang, one of the 4 major gangs from the southern Gyeonggi region. He laughs and says, "What's this? 2 middle-aged guys in Taekwondo uniforms walking into our turf? What is this? Some kind of fancy dress day? Get lost before you break your bones. The biggest gangs from the south are meeting here today, and trust me, you don't want to be in the middle of it." But Kim and Hansu, they don't even blink. They keep walking. Kim, still focused on the signal, mutters, "The location's coming from the first floor of the middle building. We'll have to take a left when we get there." Lee-jin notices that they're ignoring him, and his pride takes a hit. He steps forward, grabs Manager Kim's shoulder roughly, and says, "Hey, old man, are you deaf or something? I said..." And before he can finish that sentence, Kim's hand moves like lightning. He grips Lee-jin's arm, flips him into the air, and slams him straight into the ground, cracking the pavement beneath him. Everyone freezes. Kim steps on Lee-jin's chest and says in a deep voice, "I'm looking for a girl. Minji Kim from Song High School. Black coat, red tie, heart-shaped keychain. Have you seen her?" And walks forward. Inside the building, we see a group of other gang members watching from a window. One of them whispers, "Hey, there's some old guy out there beating up our men." Their leader, a tall teen sitting casually on a desk, surrounded by girls, takes a drag of his cigarette. This is Song Ho-shin, 19 years old, leader of one of the top 4 gangs meeting at Mab High. He smirks and says, "If there's noise outside, then go see what's going on. Or better yet, bring me another girl while you're at it." His arrogance fills the room. He doesn't care what's happening outside. But he should. Every thug that runs toward Manager Kim ends up flying through the air, thrown, kicked, or punched into walls. "What the hell is this guy?" one of them screams. "Our people are flying. We can't even get close." Manager Kim moves like a trained soldier, efficient, reliable, and tough, fast and brutal. No wasted motion, no hesitation. Every strike is precise and devastating. In seconds, the courtyard is filled with groaning bodies. Meanwhile, in another part of the school, Hansu Song enters a hallway filled with students from Aishan Technical School, part of the OD gang. They're watching everything from the shadows. One whispers, "Taesung Hai's brats are making too much noise again." Another says, "Want me to handle it?" "No," the first one replies. "Boss said no fights until the meeting's over." That's when Hansu walks in, hands in his pockets, and says calmly, "Hey boys, I'm looking for a girl named Minji Kim. Have you seen her around?" Before anyone answers, a thug sneaks behind him with a knife. But Hansu's instincts kick in. Without even turning his head, he spins, kicks backward, and sends the guy crashing into the lockers. He smirks. "I didn't plan to fight today. You kids remind me of my son. He's going through his rebellious phase too." The others look shocked. How did he react so fast? One angry student rushes forward with the knife again, shouting, "You old bastard!" Hansu dodges effortlessly, tilting his head just enough. "If you hold the knife like that," he says calmly, "you'll just end up cutting yourself." Before the guy can swing again, Hansu chops his arm and sweeps his leg, dropping him instantly. Then the hallway door bursts open, and in walks a much scarier figure. A tall student with scars all over his arms, carrying a hatchet. This is Yeon Junji, the vice head of Aishan Technical School. Rumor says he just got out of jail 3 days ago for nearly killing someone. He cracks his neck and says, "Well, look at that. 2 old men walking into our turf. Guess today's my lucky day. Come here, Grandpa. Let me show you how it feels to be chopped." He steps aside and lands a clean roundhouse kick straight into Junji's jaw. The hatchet drops. Then Hansu unleashes a barrage of kicks, one to the chest, another to the chin, and one final spinning kick that sends Junji crashing into the wall. In less than 5 seconds, the infamous Junji is out cold. Hansu brushes his jacket and says, "Using a hatchet in a school fight, that's a bit excessive, don't you think?" He looks at the stunned students and says, "Now, which way's the central building?" Terrified, one of them points. "First floor, sir. The first floor of the central building." "Good," Hansu says. Meanwhile, Manager Kim has already reached the central building. He's dragging one thug by the hair. The poor guy's crying and begging for mercy. Kim throws him on the ground and says, "Where's the main office?" That way," the guy stammers, pointing toward a hallway. As Kim walks, 2 more gang members step out and block his path. "Hey, old man, you better not go any further. If you step into the main office, you're dead." Kim doesn't respond. He just looks at them with those cold, piercing eyes, and within seconds, both are down, knocked unconscious. Everywhere he goes, people fall. Punches, elbows, throws. The building echoes with the sound of bones hitting the floor. Finally, Kim reaches the main office. Inside, standing in front of him, is young Min Kang, the vice head of the PH Gang, another notorious group. He adjusts his glasses, smirks, and says, "So you're the old man causing all that chaos outside. You're tougher than you look," and rushes at Kim with a punch. But Kim easily parries it and counters with a storm of punches straight to Kang's face and gut. The last blow sends Kang flying through the door, crashing into the office wall. The gang members inside jump to their feet, panicking. Who is this guy? Is he a cop? A teacher? Don't let him escape. Close the door. But it's too late. The door's already broken. Manager Kim steps in slowly. His breathing is calm. His eyes deadly serious. That's when he sees it. In the pocket of the gang leader standing across the room, Minji's phone. The wallpaper still shows her smiling face. Kim freezes for a second. His heart pounds. He stares at the phone and says, "That cell phone, where did you get it?" The leader laughs, pulls out the phone and says mockingly, "Oh, this thing? I think I remember this girl. Yeah, she was cute. What's wrong, old man? Is she your daughter?" Everything goes silent. Kim's expression changes. His calm face turns cold and terrifying. His eyes darken. His fists clench until his knuckles crack. In that moment, you can feel it. The storm has arrived. Manager Kim isn't just angry. He's beyond rage. This is the fury of a father who's lost everything. And now, someone just crossed the final line. Then we see the leader's face is a bruised mess, a testament to Manager Kim's fury. Kim grabs the coward's head, lining up a shot, and slams another fist into his face, following it with a rapid-fire combo that sends the guy sprawling. Kim then picks up a pen. In a truly brutal move, he threads it through the guy's fingers. The leader screams, "What are you doing?" Kim's answer? A vicious stomp on the hand, eliciting a chilling shriek of pain. The beating is relentless. Finally, Ha-chul Sung steps in to stop the carnage. Enough. He's at his limit. He's confessed everything he said was a lie. He doesn't know Minji. Kim throws a handful of pens at the groveling man. His eyes are dead serious. "So you don't know my daughter. You have nothing to do with her. Explain." Tears streaming, the leader finally cracks. "Yes, the truth is, we jump into the flashback. The leader's subordinate brings a box of phones. They're burner phones the crew unlocked. The subordinate points out one phone belonging to a pretty girl, Minji's. The perverted leader takes her phone and scoffs. Wow, only her dad's number is here. Doesn't this girl have any friends? As he's examining the phone, he accidentally dials the single contact, Manager Kim. He slams the phone down. That was the mysterious call Kim got at the police station. When pressed, the leader admits the truth to Kim. Kim grabs him, demanding, "What did you say right before that?" The leader repeats, "Her phone only had her dad's number. But wait, I saw one name in her messages, Ryong." Manager Kim is hit with a wave of realization. His daughter's phone had no friends. It was just his number. This stark detail emphasizes the terrible loneliness Minji was facing. The leader points out the content of the message. "Minji, can you lend me $20? The only outside contact was a girl asking for money. The truth starts to unfold, revealing the devastating reality of Minji's life. Kim remembers Minji going away, telling him she was going to Ryong's house. He remembers her nervously confirming Ryong's name for a school trip. He had believed Ryong was her best friend, but the messages tell a different story. Ryong was clearly exploiting Minji, asking for money, asking for her phone, showing zero genuine concern. The leader tells Kim, "I think that girl Ryong was just using her." The scene shifts again to a school flashback. Ryong approaches Minji. "Hey, Minji, can I use your phone for a few days? I need to talk to my boyfriend." Minji hesitates. "No, why should I?" Ryong uses the ultimate guilt trip. "We're friends, aren't we? Friends lend each other things." She snatches the phone and walks off, mocking Minji to her other friends. Minji, innocent and isolated, thought she had a friend. This realization, that his daughter was so alone and betrayed, sends Manager Kim spiraling. He had no idea how deeply his daughter was suffering. He remembers yelling at her for not answering his calls. "Why don't you pick up? I'm not a child. I was with my friends." Han-soo Song knows Kim is breaking. He grabs his friend's hand, his voice firm but compassionate. "I know your pain, but this is not the time for emotion. We must find Minji now. Once we find her, you can apologize for everything." Kim pulls himself together. "You're right. Now is not the time." Composed, Manager Kim whirls back on the beaten leader. "Tell me again, where did you find that phone?" The search leads Kim and Ha-chul Song to a drunk beggar on the streets, nursing a bottle of soju. The beggar admits he traded the phone for a bottle of alcohol, saying he didn't steal it or find it on the ground. Kim's intensity ratchets up. "If you didn't steal it, then this is still a kidnapping case." Terrified, the beggar gives up the location. A car pulled up, a person got out and threw away the bag containing the phone. More chillingly, the beggar overheard them talking about a body and getting rid of something. These are the true kidnappers. Manager Kim has his lead. His rage is now channeled into laser focus. He thinks, "I'll find them, those bastards who took my daughter. 5 minutes, I'll find them." He grabs the beggar one last time. "The car, what was the number? What did it look like? Do you remember anything?" The beggar is frozen, staring at the terrifying figure of Manager Kim. We see a past moment where the beggar says in his mind, "Seriously, this car that is stopped in front of me, how amazing is it? And the car that stops in front of this beggar belongs to the same people who had kidnapped Minji." The gangster inside the car says to his partner, the gangster says, "Go, throw all the stuff in different garbage piles." The other gangster goes and throws the trash, like mobile phones, etc., in the garbage and comes back. Then, this beggar picks up that garbage bag and becomes happy. Humming a song, he thinks to himself, "It seems my luck is really good today." And in the present moment, this beggar is telling all these things to Manager Kim. Manager Kim very angrily says to the beggar. Manager Kim says, "Hey, you! Do you remember what kind of car it was that those gangsters were driving? Or do you remember its number plate? The people inside that car, how big were they? Did they have any specific kind of marks or tattoos on their bodies? Do you remember how many people were inside the car?" And this beggar is now shocked, thinking to himself, "Who is this guy? His eyes are really terrifying. Does he have bullet scars below his neck?" Meanwhile, Manager Kim grabs this guy's collar and asks him again. The beggar says, "Hey, let me go first, then I'll tell you." The beggar thinks to himself, his hands don't seem like normal hands. They are very hard. It seems I'm in deep trouble. He is really scary. The beggar says to Manager Kim, "Hey, I'll tell you. That car was a white Kia." Manager Kim says, "Tell me what time it was then. Did you see where that car came from and which way it went?" The beggar says, "No, I don't know that. I don't know any of that. I just know that they were in a white car." Then, the beggar gathers courage and says, "Hey, I've told you what I knew, so where's my reward? I think I gave you very important information. Because of me, you got that phone and the information too. I'm right, no? Just give me my reward." Hansu Song puts his hand in his pocket and says, "Okay, if that's the case, I have some money for you." Hansu Song and Manager Kim talk to each other like real bosses. Manager Kim says, "No, leave it. I'll give the money." Hansu Song says, "Why are you giving it?" Hearing this, the beggar becomes happy and with a smile thinks to himself, "Oh wow, these guys seem very understanding." So the beggar gets a little overconfident and says, "Look, let me tell you guys right now, I am not some small-time trivial person. I'll have you know, I've been sitting on this street for 25 years. So think carefully before giving." Right then, Hansu Song takes out a coin, bends it with his hand, and throws it in front of the beggar. Hansu Song says, "Hey you, do you want more?" Well, after this, the scene shifts and we see a seaside scene where those gangsters who have Minji arrive. They open the trunk of the car. The first gangster says, "Hey, this corpse is starting to smell. Didn't you put anything on it?" The second gangster says, "Sir, don't worry. We will dispose of this girl now." The first gangster says, "You should have put something on her earlier. She ruined our car's trunk. It's been almost an hour. Call the guys and tell them we need a hitman." The second gangster says, "Yes, sir. I'll tell them now." And these people dump Minji's body inside a room, which is a freezer, where the corpse will remain cold and won't smell. The second gangster says, "Hey boss, this freezer was really far away. You did a great job. Want to smoke?" The first gangster says, "Good, our work is done. The location has been set. The boys are on their way. And now only one task remains. Chairman Ju, that bastard. Now it's time to settle accounts with Chairman Ju. And guys, Chairman Ju is Hairi's father, meaning the father of that girl with whom Minji had the fight." The gangster boss says, "You kids know this well, right? Once that bastard broke all my teeth. That Chairman Jew, he is an animal. He is a ruthless animal wearing human skin. I have spent my entire life planning to take revenge on that bastard. And just when I was thinking about revenge, his daughter killed a girl. Chairman Jew, that guy is such a big shot that normally I can't even wander near him. But now the situation is different. But then, a police officer arrives there and seeing them all says, "Hey, what are you all doing here? I hadn't heard that anyone was coming here today. Please, all of you, leave right now." But then, one of the gangsters, a big guy, stabs that police officer in the stomach. After stabbing him 7 or 8 times continuously, the police officer dies right there. After this, the main gangster says, the blame for killing him will also fall on Jew's head. Then the big guy with blood on his mouth says, "Hey, should we dispose of him too?" Kids these days are top-class fools. They just grow up but have no brains. And guys, this gangster had lied to Jew's daughter, saying that they take corpses to Japan and dispose of them using a compression technology. But they don't have any such compression technology. They just quietly put the corpses inside a freezer room. And the police officer they just killed, they put him there too, where Minji is. And these people start to leave this place. And then we see some movement inside the bag where Minji is. And we see a mark of Minji's hand. This clearly means that Minji is still alive. Meanwhile, Hansu Song arrives there with the bunker. Manager Kim says to Hansu Song, "Hurry up. We have to find them within 5 minutes. If we delay any further, we won't be able to track them down. You can do this, right?" Hansu Song says, "What? 5 minutes? That's too little. Give me at least 6 minutes. You know it takes time to load too." And these two, sitting in the bunker, take off from there. Manager Kim starts his work on the high-tech computer. Hansu Song says, "Guiding. First, check the network signal. After that, click on the green icon on the desktop. Once you get access to that program and become an administrator, set the location of this area there. Doing this, we will be able to access all the security cameras in this area. After that, select the car model we need to find. Select its color and also set the time for which footage we need to see. And at the same time, start the facial recognition of that beggar. By doing all this, we will get the footage from where that beggar was, where he saw that car. And Manager Kim has now found that footage. Manager Kim says, "I've got the footage." Manager Kim, watching the footage, says, "Right now, someone is getting out of that car." Hansu Song says, "Pause there. We can take a screenshot of that person and identify his face too." Then we see Manager Kim's car overturned, thanks to the aggressive move by the Groundhawk's special police unit. The Groundhawk, gun pointed, is screaming threats. Just as he's about to potentially execute Manager Kim, Hansu Song emerges from the wreckage. The Groundhawk's confusion is immediate. What is all this? What are you doing here? Where is Code 66? The narrative then masterfully uses a flashback to show us Hansu's brilliant strategic mind at work. Inside the car, he told Manager Kim, no matter what, he is a public servant. If you actually kill him, it will cause massive trouble. I'll distract him. You get out of here. The plan goes into motion. Hansu confronts the Groundhawk, who is now laser-focused on him and this Code 66. And then, boom! The car behind Hansu explodes in a spectacular blast. The Groundhawk is shocked, perceiving it as an external attack. But we, the audience, are in on the secret. This was a deliberate, controlled diversion. The explosion was a tactical move to create a smokescreen for Manager Kim's escape. And escape he does. He moves like a bolt of lightning, bursting from the car and leaping off the bridge without a second thought. The Groundhawk, shrouded in his own authority, yells, "If you think I won't shoot you because you're a civilian, you are dead wrong." the groundhog opens fire, and what we witness is a breathtaking display of speed and agility. Hansu doesn't just dodge bullets, he evades them with an almost casual grace. But even when the groundhog pulls a knife, he's hopelessly outclassed. Hansu unleashes a devastating flurry of kicks, but the tone shifts when backup arrives. Hansu adopts a final, ominous stance and states, "Preparing for the final strike. I don't have much time left." Hansu leaps from a distance the groundhog believes is impossible to cover. The hawk's internal monologue is perfect. This wasn't a 3-spin kick. These were 4 rotations, a 1,440-degree spin. Parallel, we cut to Manager Kim. He's finally located the white van, following a grim trail of blood, the final clue leading him to Minji. Inside the freezer, Minji is still there, trapped, freezing and terrified. Her cries of, "Dad, where are you? Save me." The suspense is masterfully built. Then, a sound at the door. It creaks open, and for a glorious moment, we and Minji dare to hope that her savior has arrived. But that hope is brutally shattered. It's not Manager Kim, it's the gangster who kidnapped her. This guy is cold. He's immediately on the phone with Gang Chung-ju. That's Harry's father, and his tone is pure disrespect. "You bastard, pick up the phone. I don't care if you're the chairman. Your daughter killed someone, and you'll have to come running." But then, he notices something off. Footprints on the freezer floor. This confuses him because the 2 people who were here, Minji and the cop, shouldn't be moving. One is hiding, and the other is, well, presumed dead. The police officer, clinging to life by a thread, launches a desperate final attack. The wounded cop embodies sheer willpower here. He's barely standing, but he fights to protect Minji, calling the gangster a dog. The gangster, however, is remorseless. He pulls his knife with a sickening smile and says, "You're right, I am a dog, but you should be careful who you're tangling with." He then proceeds to stab the officer repeatedly, finally killing him in front of Minji. As the gangster's phone lies on the floor, still connected to Chairman Ju, Minji sees the name and realizes the magnitude of the situation. The dying cop's last gaze meets hers, a silent promise of protection broken. The gangster, annoyed his subordinate left a job unfinished, reveals his plan. He was there to take a photo of Minji's corpse to blackmail Chairman Ju. Just as he's about to discover Minji is still alive, Chairman Ju calls back. The conversation that follows is a masterclass in tension. The gangster lays down his terms. Chairman Ju must come alone to a remote location within an hour, with 2 billion won and no police or bodyguards. Throughout this, Chairman Ju remains eerily calm. He reassures his terrified daughter Harry with an incredible line. "Remember, a little rain can never wet the ocean." But the moment he walks away, his composure shatters. We see pure, unadulterated rage on his face. He orders his manager to prepare 500 million won, showing he's ready to play this game his own way. Meanwhile, at the gangster's hideout, Manager Kim arrives. He immediately identifies Shagman as one of the kidnappers. What follows is a brutal, one-sided beatdown. In a parallel chase, Shagman tries to escape, revealing a crucial piece of misinformation. That girl was already dead before we arrived. This sends Kim into a further rage, but he keeps his focus, demanding to know who Chairman Ju is and what he has to do with his daughter. In a desperate escape attempt, Shagman tries to slide down a rope, but falls to his death, leaving Kim with more questions than answers. Back at the freezer, the gangster outside finally spots Minji. In a moment of brilliant quick thinking, she slams and locks the freezer door from the inside. Furious, the gangster calls for backup, specifically asking for Min Kang, a masked figure who is clearly being set up as a major threat. Kim tracks down another thug, Burger. Burger steals a massive truck and tries to flee. What does Manager Kim do? He doesn't just run after it. He sprints over shipping containers, matches the truck's speed, and drop-kicks the windshield. The truck crashes into the sea. Kim pulls a half-drowned Burger out and delivers a chilling promise. You can run to the ends of the earth. I will find you, because you messed with my daughter. Under the threat of death, Burger reveals the location of the freezer. We cut back to the freezer. The gangster, now sitting outside the door, tries to negotiate with Minji, taunting her that she can't survive the cold much longer. Okay, so now our video ends here. If you want next video on this manhwa, then like, subscribe, and comment your opinion. Till then, goodbye.